Welcome to the deep dive. Have you ever felt like gardening is, well, sometimes a bit of a gamble?
Oh,
You
absolutely.
buy the seeds, you follow all the steps, maybe you even talk to your plants like I do.
Guilty.
But sometimes you get this amazing, lush result, and
Yeah.
other times it's just, well, disappointing, right?
More desert than jungle sometimes.
Exactly. So today, we're going to dig into that mystery a bit. We've got some really interesting insights from just one source, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a post by a hobbyist gardener named Ang. It's titled Notes on Gardening, Part 623, Why Locally Produced Seeds by Hobbyist Gardener is Better. Came out August 12, 2025.
Part 623. Wow, Aang sounds like a dedicated gardener.
Seems like it. And their journey, well, it sounds pretty familiar. They started out trying seeds from, all over the place.
Like big companies, smaller sellers.
Yeah, exactly. Ang mentions using a number of different vendors, both established and hobbyist, always aiming for that, consistent green thumb success.
But it didn't always work out.
That's the thing. They kept getting these really mixed results. And it wasn't for lack of trying. Ang was careful about seed quality, followed good germination practices.
Doing everything by the book, essentially.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But still, just inconsistent. It kind of sets up this key moment of realization they had.
Yeah, that's a frustration so many gardeners run into, isn't it? You feel like you're doing everything right, check all the boxes, but the seeds, they just don't cooperate sometimes.
Totally.
But what sounds different about Aang is that they didn't just, shrug it off. They saw those mixed results and thought, okay, why is this happening?
Right, turning frustration into a question.
Exactly. It sounds like they were really observing almost like a little experiment in their own garden, taking that common problem and looking for a real answer.
So Ang's tracking all this, trying the different seeds, different sources. What was the actual moment, the aha, that changed how they thought about seeds?
Well, it really came into focus when Aang did a specific comparison using Petunia seeds. That seemed to be the turning point.
Petunias, okay. What was the comparison?
They did a direct side-by-side test. On one side, Petunia seeds from a commercial vendor. Aang suspected these were probably sourced globally, maybe from China or somewhere far off.
Okay, standard commercial seeds.
Right. And on the other side, seeds harvested locally, like right there in the community from another hobbyist gardener's own plants.
Ah, okay. So direct local versus global test.
Exactly. And the difference Aang reported, it was, dramatic was the word used.
Dramatic.
The local seeds showed a much higher germination rate. It wasn't just a little bit better. It was a really noticeable, stark contrast.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's significant.
Yeah, it immediately suggested that something more was going on than just, general good quality seeds.
Yeah.
There was another factor at play.
A much higher germination rate. I mean, that's what every gardener wants.
Yeah.
So seeing that clear difference, what did Ang identify as the key reasons why the local seeds did so much better?
Aang really zeroed in on two main things, two critical factors.
Okay.
First was freshness, and second was the cultivation environment.
Freshness and cultivation environment. Let's break those down. Freshness seems kind of obvious, maybe?
Well, yes and no. We know fresh is generally better, but think about what it really means for a seed. It means it still has all its internal energy stores intact, ready for that initial burst of growth.
Right. It hasn't degraded sitting in a packet for months or years or traveling halfway around the world.
Exactly. It hasn't lost that vitality. But the second factor, the cultivation environment, that's maybe even more profound.
How so?
It means the specific local conditions the parent plant grew in. We're talking about the unique soil, the microclimate, the amount of sun, maybe even the local bugs and diseases it dealt with.
So the parent plant was adapted to that specific place.
Precisely. And Aang's insight suggests that this adaptation gets kind of imprinted onto the seeds. It creates this, you could call it hyper-local adaptation.
Hyper-local. I like that.
Yeah. So the seeds, the offspring, are basically pre-tuned, you could say, to thrive in conditions very similar to where their parent plant succeeded. It gives them a head start in that same local garden.
That makes so much sense. It's like home field advantage, but for seeds.
That's a great way to put it, a biological home field advantage.
So after all this testing, all this careful observation, Ang came to this really clear conclusion, this crucial insight, as they put it, which is basically, for the best quality, the best germination, nothing beats seeds that are harvested locally and recently.
Yeah.
Freshness plus that perfect environmental match.
Exactly. It boils down to those two things.
Yeah.
Freshness and the cultivation environment.
And, this isn't just some interesting story from one gardener's blog, right? This has
Yeah.
real practical takeaways for anyone listening who gardens.
Absolutely. It really challenges that default mode of just grabbing whatever packet looks good at the store. Those commercial seeds, they often travel huge distances, sit in warehouses. They might not have that freshness or that local adaptation.
So what's the alternative?
Well, it encourages you to maybe look closer to home. Think about local gardening clubs, maybe farmers markets where people might sell locally saged seeds.
Or even just talking to neighbors, right? That
Yeah.
person down the street with the amazing tomato plants.
Exactly. Strike up a conversation. See if they save seeds. Those seeds, harvested fresh from a garden just like yours, environment-wise, they could be the secret sauce you've been missing.
It could really change things from feeling like a gamble to, more consistent success.
It could make a huge difference.
This whole idea really gets you thinking, though, doesn't it? Beyond just gardening.
How do you mean?
Well, this idea of a hyper-local advantage. If being close, being directly connected to the local environment makes such a difference for something as basic as a seed, what else might that apply to? Does it say something about, I don't know, local food production in general, or sharing knowledge locally, or community projects?
That's a fascinating thought, the power of proximity and direct adaptation.
Right. Maybe there are unexpected advantages everywhere when things are sourced or grown or developed really close to where they're used. It makes you want to look around your own neighborhood, your own community.
And just observe more. See what's already thriving.
Exactly. Keep an eye out. Be curious about what really works well right where you are, because it's, locally grown, locally adapted, and maybe just fresher. Something to think about.